Gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Elton John. That's used up my ration for next week, isn't it, obviously? You're looking terrific.
Thank you.
And what a great year it's been
for you. Is that 2 W's or 2 R's?
Oh, thank you, Elton.
Bang goes my free meal after the show.
There you go, that's it. No hospitality room for you later. No. Now, this year, you've had what? You've had a #1 album and a #1 single.
2 #1 albums, actually.
2 #1 albums. You snuck one past me.
Yes.
That's must be one of your best years ever, isn't it?
It's been a really good year, yeah. I can't grumble, can I, really?
Are you still surprised that you're at the top? I mean, you're up there and you beat, I think, Adamski, one of the bright young things of the pop world, to #1, and you're competing with them. Does that surprise you?
I like beating bright young things.
Now, you know, you had the sun on you again, if you say that sort of thing.
Yeah, I've gone through that before, haven't I? No, I better not do that. It's just really nice. It's a bonus. All I've ever done is written songs that I wanted people to like, and I've always liked what I've done. Some of them you get fed up with in the end. But when you first write a song, if somebody else likes it and buys the record, that's a really added bonus. And just, I suppose we've been really lucky for 20 years, you know. It doesn't seem like 20 years, but a lot of it's been a blur.
Well, we'll get onto that in a minute. You've outlived a lot of kind of pop stars as well, who've had kind of briefer stays in the charts. What do you think of the current crop? What do you think of, for example, Madonna?
I knew you were going to ask me that. I think she's a brilliant, brilliant marketing expert.
Oh, right.
I'd rather read a Barbara Carlton novel than play Madonna. No, that's not fair, actually. There are a couple of her records that are really good. I'm not really into it. I don't like people who don't really sing on stage. I don't like the Janet Jackson, Madonna people that, you know, mime on stage. It's not my scene, man.
What about the other kind of performers then who started at the same time as you? What about, for example, Rod Stewart? I know you were very friendly with at one time, and he's back in the news with wedding number 37 or something.
Yes, he's going, yes. The Rod Steiger of rock and roll, or the Mickey. It's, yeah, he's getting married on Saturday, I think.
Do you think this one will last? Now,
Is George Best sober?
Oh, dear.
I hope it does. I mean, I wish him all the best. He's my mate and everything, but he's got a great sense of humour. He must have.
I've read that you have pet names for each other, that he calls you Sharon and you call him Phyllis.
That's incredibly correct, yes.
Now, where does that come from?
And I call you Diana.
So what does Phyllis stand for? Why do you call Rod Phyllis?
Oh, it was years ago when people used to travel around in transit vans. There was a place called Ilpa Island, and people did gigs there, and it was... I had played for Long John Baldry at that time, and it just had written on the Ada Baldry and the Hoochie Coochie Ladies featuring Phyllis Stewart. And it's, you know, I've always remembered that.
It stayed since then.
And so has he.
Phyllis is curiously appropriate for him, actually.
It is indeed, and Sharon is very appropriate for me. I mean, and Diana is very appropriate for you.
Thank you for rubbing that one in.
Thank you.
Now, look, you've lost a hell of a lot of weight. Last time I saw you were on The Last Resort a few years ago, and you looked very different. You were a very different sort of person as well, I think, then. You mentioned that part of your life had gone past in a blur, and I concluded, perhaps incorrectly, but perhaps rightly, that was to do with your drinking problem. And
yeah, a lot of it was to do with overindulgence in everything, really, drinking and eating and being depressed. And when I was depressed, I ate. When I was depressed, I drank. And I drank too much and I ate too much. And I just overindulged, and it was just, it got out of hand, it got out of control, I became more miserable. So this year I decided to do something about it. And ever since I've done, that's about 4.5 months ago, and since I've done that, and I've watched what I have eaten, I don't eat sugar and I don't eat the white flour, I eat everything else.
So how drastically has your lifestyle changed then? Have you found that it's affected your lot? Do you go to bed earlier?
I get up in the mornings, yeah, and I get up in the mornings and I'm quite happy to get up instead of being a miserable bastard, yeah. I used to... do you know what happened? I went to, and this is being very serious for a minute, I went to visit a young kid who was dying of AIDS this year, a boy called Ryan White, who had a tremendous effect on people in America with his courage, because his family were victimized, he was victimized, he was thrown out of school, and they had to move to another town. And I went to the hospital and stayed for like 8 or 9 days and was there when he died. And it was a very moving experience just to be with his family, because they didn't have an ounce of resentment towards anybody who'd done anything to them. And here was me who'd go into a hotel suite or a private jet saying, I don't like the color of it. And my life had got totally out of proportion. I was totally lost in self-indulgence and self-obsession. And it was this family who'd had bricks thrown through their windows, and the child was dying of AIDS, and he never had anything bad to say about anybody either. And that sort of courage and humility sort of thought, oh my God, I won't complain about anything ever again. Of course I have done, but I mean it hasn't had an effect on me. Well, I just think, that I just got so carried away, and we do get carried away in this business. We just take everything for granted. We just don't stop and smell the roses. So I'm trying to stop a bit and smell a few roses, man.
You're going to play some music for us this evening. I know there are 2 songs you've prepared for us.
Yes, I have.
We've wheeled in an old...
Fanny Craddock, didn't it?
Here's a couple you prepared earlier. Let's stroll over to the piano here. And so which of the songs, which is the first one you're going to do this evening?
It's Blue Eyes, just for you, dear.
It's a beautiful song, and beautifully sung, I'm sure. Mr. Elton John, ladies and gentlemen.
Blue eyes, baby's got blue eyes, like a deep blue sea on a blue, blue day. Blue eyes, baby's got blue eyes. When the morning comes, I'll be far away. Oh, and I say, blue eyes holding back the tears, holding back the pain. Baby's got blue eyes. She's alone again. Blue eyes, baby's got blue eyes, like a clear blue sky, watching over me. Blue eyes, I love those eyes. When I'm by her side, where I long to be. Oh, I will see blue eyes laughing in the sun, laughing in the rain. Baby's got blue eyes, and I am home again. Blue eyes laughing in the sun, laughing in the rain. Baby's got blue eyes, and I am home again.
Thank you very much. Elton John. Now, you don't have to take a commercial break, but we do. Don't leave the room. Elton and I will be back in a couple of minutes with more chat, more music, and today's lucky password. See you then. Thank you. Welcome back, and here we all are, 2 minutes older and 2 minutes wiser. If you've just joined us, my guest tonight is Mr. Elton John. If you haven't, well, it can be our little secret. Elton, if we carry on chatting here, there was a book I saw recently. The Sunday Times brought out a book called The Book of the Rich, and I think they have the 400 wealthiest people in the country in there, and you're in it, and they estimate your wealth at £100 million. So A, I have my Christmas list for you.
Yeah.
And B, I just wondered, I'm not going to try and ask you exactly how much I have, but is that the correct? Is that kind of in the right ballpark?
I have no idea. My career has never been based on money. I mean, a lot of people like to count their money and are obsessed with keeping it. I seem to spend a lot. The football club drained me for quite some. I don't really know. I mean, assets, I don't know. I don't save much. I don't have investments. I have some paintings and that's about it. I honestly don't know. I would think that would be they always seem to overestimate, especially when you get the tabloids and they say so-and-so just earned £1 million in a minute, and forget it. Just take about 5 noughts off that. After tax and stuff. I don't know. I'm not worth anywhere near that amount, I wouldn't think.
Well, speaking about people who like to sort of hold it,
I'll make a phone call after the show and let you know. I'll put you out of your misery. Yeah.
I'm desperate to know. I'm not sleeping. But speaking of people who do like to hold and save it, George Michael springs to mind. And I know you're very friendly with him.
Yeah, George.
York, I believe, is...
Yes, I visit his caravan often, yes.
Because he's in the same book, and they estimate his wealth at £65 million. Would you think that would be...
He's done very well, hasn't he? Done very well, George, in a short space of time. I don't know, George doesn't fritter money like I mean, he is, he's a very basic Greek boy. And he's been very generous to me. He gave me a lovely CD jukebox for my birthday, which is lovely. He's not stingy by any means, but who cares? I mean, I don't know.
He's not, but you are very generous with your money, aren't you? You do seem to splash it around.
Well, listen, I could be knocked over by... I mean, I'm going to get all these bloody letters tomorrow. Dear sir, seeing as you said on the Jonathan Ross show you could be knocked over by a bus tomorrow, can I have it before you're knocked over?
P.S. I am a bus driver.
I enjoy... yes. After this... After this series, Jonathan, you may well be.
But let me ask something else, because it's... dear. That would be funny if it were so close to the truth.
Let's hope you're not on the 41 to Wohampton either.
But let me ask you, it's still loosely on the subject of money, though. You're not that money motivated, but if, for example, as may well happen, Labour get in at the next election, then people such as yourself in the higher sort of earnings
I've always been, but that's nonsense. That's all old wives' tales. I mean, I've always been here. I've always been I pay British tax, and I've always been a British resident. Doesn't really. I mean, I survive. I don't exactly want for anything in my life.
So you wouldn't leave the country. You wouldn't become a tax exile.
I belong in this country. I mean, if I was going to go, I would have gone in 1987 when the Sun. We had that thing with the Sun. I wanted to leave, but if I'd have left, I would have looked as if I'd have been guilty. So I had to stay. So I really wanted to leave at that point. I just wanted to get out the furthest possible. But no, I like it here. I travel a lot, and this is my home, and it always has been. And there was a time when I used to hate coming back to England because my life was in such a mess. And I used to hate going anywhere. I used to go on holiday, and I used to take myself with me, and that used to be a real drag. It would have been fine if I hadn't gone.
But I mean, I can't really imagine the country without you, because not wanting to make you sound ancient, but you are almost like a kind of national institution.
Yes, dear.
Yeah. Rather like the royal family, and I know you're a neighbour of the Queen's mum. Does she pop in for tea often? Do you chat much?
She comes over for a game of Trivial Pursuit now and then. Name me a famous ex-Tsar beginning with Z. She's good on those. No, I mean, I can't really divulge those sort of secrets unless you pay me more money.
Let's go back to the charity aspect of it, because you've always been involved in charities. I know you said that, not just A's, but you were always involved in kind of charity cricket matches and concerts way before Live Aid. And this year you were part of the Nebworth Bill.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that they're going to keep happening, those sorts of concerts, or do you think people are beginning to get tired of it and a kind of compassion fatigue is setting in?
Well, the Nebworth show was probably one of the most brilliantly organised shows I'd been on. It was like that. And it was for a very, very good cause. I personally didn't enjoy it at all. I just thought it was just one more show. And one show too many. But that's from my point of view. I just think that that sort of show now has had its day because it's the same group of people. I mean, I know that we all were asked, because we'd all been given the Silver Clef Award over the years. You know, you get an award for being old in this business, they give you it there. And then we were all asked to play, and it went down okay. I didn't enjoy it. There were several reviews in newspapers that said, that picked on the point that it looked like an load of old dinosaurs on stage. There's nothing wrong with being my age and playing music, but it would have been nice to have some younger people as well. Yeah. And I'm just a bit fed up with, you know, those sort of concerts. I've done them, I've seen them, I've flown over them, you know. Yeah. And it's just, I think it's let it just die.
Well, the novelty isn't there so much for the audience either, is it, I don't think?
No, it's just a, you know, collection, the same old, there's only so many times you can jam with someone.
Yeah.
You know?
What about you? You said you'd like some younger talent. Your younger days, of course, were marked by your love of flamboyant dress sense and dresses. I was going to say, but it's kind of wrong. But flamboyant gear across the board. I mean, there probably were a few dresses. I can't remember.
There probably were. Yeah.
that was Bowie, wasn't it? Do you miss not wearing that? I mean, is that something that you'd like to bring back into your stage performance?
No, I took it on a little bit too long, actually. I think the last tour of Australia, when I did the symphony tour, and I wore the one with the dressing up as like Mozart or something like that was okay, but the one, you know, the bit before, I mean, please. I just took it, I never knew when to say no to anything, and people said, listen, Elton, it's about time you stop doing that, and I said, no. And it harkens back to the question you asked me earlier about my change of life and my change of way of thinking. I'm beginning to listen to people a bit more and deciding that I don't know everything. Because I did, you know, I thought I knew everything.
You seem a lot happier now.
I am, yeah. I feel much happier. I'm much more content. I've been chasing around for years trying to find out who I am, and I got farther and farther away from it by just... we know when I was happy, if I had a hit record I was happy, or I'd met someone I liked, I could never be happy enough. I always had to have something else to make me happier. Why? It's stupid. I was never content with just being happy. So, and I just took it, everything just got exploded on me. And my own fault, and I've sorted it out, and I just don't want to go back to that way of life. And I don't think I will.
Well, I hope not as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Elton John. We're short on time now, but Elton, I did say you do 2 numbers for us, so if you'd perhaps be so kind as to go over to the piano there. Marvellous. There you go. And while Elton makes his way to the Ivories, I've got plenty of time to thank all of tonight's guests, Mr. Elton John. If you've enjoyed tonight's show, there's another one on Monday, so see you then. In the meantime, here to play us out with The Bitch Is Back once again, Mr. Elton John.